Hey there, Leo. It's Keegan. It's good to be here with you guys on YouTube doing a reading for you. I hope that you have been well. I have pre-shuffled decks before sitting down to film, but I want to do some shuffling on camera. Really quickly here at the top, before we dive into the reading, I just want to let you guys know I am doing a September special for personal readings. So if you've thought about getting a personal reading with me, or if this reading leads you to feel like you want to get a personal reading with me, I'm doing 2 question readings for $50 and 3 question readings for $75. If you want to find out more or let me know for sure that you want that, you can email me, keegantarot@gmail.com. I'll put information up on the screen so you can see all of this. But I just want to let you guys know right at the beginning, before I get my energy completely focused on the reading and forget to mention it. So the way that I'm doing the readings, I'll start with my Oracle deck. I'll give a cut. Whatever card I cut at will be the card that kicks the reading off. And then we'll start with this deck just to get more insight. And then, as I mentioned, I have other decks that are around that I've pre-shuffled as well that I can use to clarify as needed. So this deck feels good. I'm going to set it off to the side. And we're going to go ahead and get started on your reading, Leo. Let's see what wants to come out. I'm going to shuffle this one more time. Okay. There we go. So, coming out first, we have this card which says, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So, let's talk a little bit about this card. Let me go ahead and start just free shuffling this deck to see if anything wants to come out while I'm talking. Okay. So, it's possible for some of you that you have not felt at peace, or that you've been asking for peace. And I think a lot of you, just in terms of checking in with the energy that I'm feeling, have had this attitude of really needing to put in a lot of work, put in a lot of effort, really push yourselves around something, and have been frustrated or annoyed with what you've actually managed to create. Okay, so we've had 3 cards come out. They're all on their sides, which indicate, for me at least as a reader, blocks. Okay, these are things that are blocking you. And then we have 2 cards that have not revealed themselves. I'm going to put this deck over here. We have a lot to talk about already, but I'm going to stick here with the Oracle card first. So what I'm getting here is that there's a need, that the message that's coming through for you is one of realizing that you can lean into the universe. And what I mean by that is, when we want something, when we want to manifest something or create something in our lives, when we want to see something come from our minds and our hearts, something that we know we want and we can see what we want to look like. Yes, we have to show up and do work along the way, but we can't necessarily force that to happen in any set time. And sometimes it'll look different or come to us in a different way than what we have in our minds. And I think what's happening for you guys is that you've gotten stuck on this is how it needs to be, and this is how it has to happen, and this is by when it needs to happen. And that's creating a lot of stress, and it's blocking peace from coming into that experience. It's making the experience of whatever it is that you're wanting to create or to manifest or to have success at, is creating a situation where that is starting to feel stressful. And if chasing after that feels stressful to you, then you're creating blocks because your energy is not aligned to it being something that you actually want. Your energy is saying to the universe, this is stressing me out, it's not fun, I don't enjoy it, please make it stop, please make it go away. And that's the opposite of actually creating a situation where you're pulling something in. Okay, so the cards that have come out here, you have the Page of Coins, the Fool, and the 10 of Coins, all on their sides, all being blocked. So let's talk about them just from top to bottom, about what this type of blockage might look like, how it might appear for you. Okay, so the Page of Coins is something that I've pretty much already talked about. Okay, so the Page of Coins, when it's upright, is really about manifesting something, about developing our skills or creating some sort of financial opportunity. And when the card is reversed, it's basically the opposite. It's not making progress or procrastination around a certain a certain goal or a certain thing that we're trying to chase after. So what's going on here is it's almost like you're digging, you're like spinning your wheels and just digging yourself deeper and deeper into a place of being stuck and not really being able to get into the flow and allow things to flow into you. The same thing with the Fool card here. You know, this feels almost like you're kind of going back and forth, is what this card feels like to me, where there's part of you that is really, you have moments where you're really excited and you're optimistic, and that energy of the Fool when it's upright, which is just being willing to just dive into something for the sake of diving into it. But then you flip, and I think it's because of this, it becomes not fun, it becomes stressful, because you're trying to force it, you're trying to make it happen in a certain way or make it look a certain way. And so then when the Fool reverses, it becomes very much a withdrawal of energy, or becoming almost like irresponsible or reckless with how you're going about the situation, of how you're handling the situation. And then you have the Ten of Coins, which is another card that is about this this balance between manifesting wealth or really sort of losing or failing at the attempt to manifest it, right? So these cards, which all came out blocked, it's what I was talking about, right? It's almost like you're getting in your own way. You're putting too much pressure on this situation. You're zapping the fun part of it. And what's left for you to try to deal with is the stress and worry and anxiety of whether or not it's looking the way like you think it should look, right? But you are actually actively blocking it from looking how you want it to look. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that that's clear, because having this many cards that came out as blocks, it just indicates a situation where you have to look at each of these things and say, I want this card to be in a place where I actually am manifesting and I'm developing skills and I'm learning as I'm going. I want this card to be where I'm having fun with this and I am being willing to learn and understand that there are things that I need to learn and that I'm at the beginning of this process. And then with this card, you really want this to be in a place where I'm thinking about the long-term success of this. And I'm not going to judge the beginning stages of this by where I think it needs to be at the end. I have to look at the beginnings of this and have measured things in terms of how I'm measuring the success that I'm having. How do I want to phrase that differently? Because I think that's not the best way to phrase it. So it's almost like, let's say that I'm gonna use an analogy because that's normally what I do when I get stuck in terms of trying to explain the energy that I'm getting. Let's say that you want to run a marathon, right? Like that's your goal, that's your long-term goal, and you're like, I want to be able to run a marathon and I want to be able to complete it. And then you look up what's the world record for a marathon, and you see what that is, and then you go outside and you try to run a marathon length in that amount of time, and obviously you don't do it, right? Like you've not trained, you've not done anything in terms of preparation, you haven't run in 2 years, and even then you weren't really running, you like jogged for a little bit on treadmill. And so you go out and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do it, I'm going to beat the world record at the marathon, and you don't, and then you're like, well, clearly I can't even finish a marathon. Like that's what this energy is. And so don't do that to yourself. Realize I have to first like start running, and then I have to make sure I have good shoes, and then I have to make sure that I'm eating properly, and I need to figure out how to build up my endurance. There's a whole process before you can get to this point. So yes, you have to realize what you want the end goal to look like, but along the way you have to learn skills, and you have to allow yourself to be new and to make mistakes and to grow and evolve. And that's where it's important to lean into the universe, because that allows you to have peace. So you can say, if I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this, then yes, at some point in the future, I will be able to run a marathon, which is my long-term goal. All right. Let's see what these two cards are that were hidden. So we have the Eight of Swords and the Five of Coins, both upright. This is, honestly, it's more of the same, guys. I think this is explaining why these blocks are here. So the Eight of Swords, this is really just, this card typically it's represented in a deck with someone who they're standing and they have swords all around them in a circle. But it's the victim card. It's the victim mentality. It's letting all those negative thoughts that we have in our mind get in our way. The Five of Coins is a very similar energy. This is that lack mindset. Very often this card is talked about in terms of like someone who's been like left out in the cold. It's this notion of worrying about something, feeling like you're not going to have any sort of financial success, that you're going to be stuck in a place where you don't have what it is that you need. Okay, all of this energy is very like intense, and this energy is why there's this block here. So you have to deal with this. Okay, so the way to deal with this is to realize that negative thoughts in your mind, you're creating those thoughts. They might have come from people saying things to you before. They might have come from you comparing yourself to others. But you're in control of those thoughts. You're in control of whether you allow them to put you in a place of feeling like a victim, or whether you can get yourself into a place of feeling like, energized and at peace. Okay, so this is not peaceful. This part of this is not peaceful. None of this is peaceful, and I understand. I can feel the energy around this. The solution to getting out of this, again, is to trust the universe. Let the universe know what it is that you want to create. Ask for it. Allow it to come to you. Okay, so I'm going to switch decks here. See what else wants to come out for you guys. This deck is new. So the cards are sometimes slow to respond to me, but let's see what else wants to come out for the sign of Leo regarding this reading. How can Leo better lean into having faith in the universe? What might that look like? So the first card coming out here, you have the Three of Pentacles, which is reversed. What I get from this is that, so this card at its core represents working on your own, working by yourself, not working with others. I think that for a period of time, there will be a need to be on your own in whatever this endeavor is, and to really have to rely on yourself. Ooh, there we go. This card was coming out this way. That one flipped. So we have the Knight of Swords upright, and then the Queen of Swords coming out reversed. Let's talk about the Knight of Swords first. The Knight of Swords, when it is upright, is a very driven, ambitious, goal-setting, taking action sort of energy. It's let's go do it, okay? So this card came out right after the Three of Pentacles reversed. So even though you will be doing a lot of this work on your own, solo, I think what's important for you to realize is that you have to push yourself. You have to set goals. You have to set benchmarks and push yourself towards reaching them. Let yourself think about ways that you can make this process, whatever this is, whatever it is that you're trying to do, let your mind try to figure out, how can I make this happen faster? How can I create this faster? But it is going to be something that you're mostly doing on your own. This Queen of Swords coming out reversed here, I feel like it's more of this, but I think it's just giving insight into what needs to shift mostly for you to be able to get into this energy. Because the Queen of Swords, when it's reversed, represents emotions that are not justified. That's the best way I want to put it. It's overly emotional, okay? Where your energy is very easily manipulated or easily swayed. it's also a place where maybe emotions have been completely turned off. So what this would look like in a situation based on what's going on here is you hit some sort of block, you hit some sort of obstacle, you hit something that's in your path that gets in your way. And instead of saying, you know what, how can I figure this out? How can I move past this? How can I, get over this or work around it? Or what's the thing that I need to do to make sure this doesn't happen again? You get very frustrated. You fall back into this Eight of Swords energy. You cut off your emotions. You get angry. You become really worked up. And it knocks you out of this peaceful place, right? So where you want to be with this to make it easy is to just constantly have it be peaceful. You want to feel like when you're focused on this that it is something that you are at peace with. But if you're coming in and you're either there's no emotion, there's no joy, there's no happiness, or you're coming in and there's anger, resentment, annoyance, frustration, you're knocking yourself out of this, which is where you need to be. Okay? I want to take a look actually at this Knight of Swords and see if we can get some more information. So you have the Hermit coming out. Same energy as that Three of Pentacles. It's just confirmation that this is something that you're going to be doing on your own. It's going to be something that you're doing on your own for a while. The other thing that I will say about the Hermit is this is a card about listening often to inner guidance, tuning inward, having a bit of like an introspection that's going on. The other card that you have coming out here, you have the Lovers card, which has come out reversed. This reading has not necessarily felt like a love reading to me. It has felt very focused on either career or some sort of goal. It's felt very goal-oriented. So with the Lovers card, I don't see this as necessarily representing like a relationship issue or a relationship ending, something like that. So when this card is not necessarily in the context of a love reading, a relationship reading, and none of this has really felt that way to me, honestly. It's not how I've done this reading. So in that context, this just represents a place where there's conflict. There is some sort of balance issue. Things are out of balance. Things are not... This feels like the relationship that you have with whatever this is, the relationship that you have with yourself in terms of motivating yourself, inspiring yourself, keeping yourself on track. That's what this card is representing. The issue of the connection that you have in manifesting this. It could be the relationship you have with your own intuition, the relationship you have with the universe, but that's what this card is representing. I want to just grab one other deck. I just want to go through this deck a couple of times to see if any other cards just want to come out. I don't really feel like I need to clarify anything that's currently down here, but I want to see if anything else just wants to come out for you guys, and then we'll pull one more Oracle card to wrap up the reading. So, is there anything else which was just to reveal itself for the sign of Leo? Any additional insights, guidance, knowledge? Go through this 2 more times, guys. There's one. Right, we had some come out. There's one more. Funny, that one flew over there as another block. So let's take a look. Strength coming out here. This is good. This is your card, right? There you are. It's upright. This is good. You need to lean into this, right? So by nature, your sign is one of courage, strength, and being really dedicated and proud of what that dedication creates and manifests for you, right? So hard work is something that for your sign is in your nature, okay? Being able to rely on your inner strength to keep yourself going is definitely, an aspect of your sign. So you had the Nine of Pentacles coming out upright. Okay, also in this collection that came out. So this card represents abundance, financial independence, being able to take care of yourself, provide for yourself, create the type of life that you want to create. You have the Father of Pentacles here, which is reversed. I think that this is coming out just almost as a warning to you that I think once you do start to see some success with this, once you do start to see, getting rid of these blocks, getting rid of these issues, and you start to really come into trusting the universe, be mindful that you don't become either too fixated on that success, too fixated on money, or that you don't mismanage your money. You don't spend money as quickly as you get it coming in, that you don't make mistakes. This card is the King of Pentacles, the King of Coins. It's reversed here. When this card's upright, this is someone who is, business-minded, they're wealthy, they're secure, they're safe, they're stable, they have the home, they have everything that they want, and they manage all that very well. When it's flipped, it just represents someone who's either become like obsessed with that, and so it's never enough, they always want more, or they're just not managing it well. They're setting themselves up to have issues down the road. You have the Six of Wands coming out reversed, and this, for me, this can have, a little bit of a connection with this card and with this. Okay, so I'm going to put it sort of right there in the middle. In terms of the connection with this card, the Six of Wands reverse can represent being, having issues with the ego starting to take over and be in control of things. So that's the warning aspect of this. But the other thing that I think ties in with this, especially with, these cards right here, is the Six of Wands, when it's upright, represents a success that's known and is acknowledged and it's public. When the Six of Wands is reversed, it represents a very private achievement, something that is still a success, still is an achievement, but it's just known to you, right? So there's a theme here that for a while this is going to be on you, and it's up to you to motivate yourself and up to you to set goals and celebrate them, and to be aware that even in small increments, growth towards that goal is something that still counts, it still matters. I do want to see what else came out here as a block. You have the Sun, which is, come out on its side. So this is not a bad card. This is not a bad placement, even though it's on its side, because the Sun card is the most positive card in the deck. And so even when it's reversed, it's not a bad card. So this is another card basically saying you're going to have success. You're going to have what you want to create, what you want to manifest is going to happen, but it's just going to be a little bit delayed, which is, again, consistent with everything that we've seen here, okay? So what I want to do for you is I want to just go back to this Oracle deck. I want to get one more card out for you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Again, if you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can send me an email. Please take a moment to comment and like this video. That just helps spread the video to other people who might need to hear the message. I'm going to free shuffle this instead of cutting. I just want to see what wants to come out. Give me advice from this Oracle deck for the sign of Leo regarding this reading to wrap it up, please. Any advice or guidance? One last card, please. I mean, it's exactly what I was saying, right? Thinking about this. Lean into the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. When you are having fun, when you're at peace, when you're having fun with this, the universe will work fast. If you're stuck over here in this energy, if you're stuck in victim mentality and worrying about whether you're succeeding fast enough and comparing yourself to others and getting in your own way, the universe can't work with that. It slows everything down. If you can just focus on having fun, motivating yourself, celebrating those benchmarks that you achieve, even if no one else knows about them, you need to be happy and excited about them, because that's what matters. That's when the universe can get to work for you. So I'm going to close this out. I hope that you guys did enjoy this reading. Please go into the comments. Let me know what you think. I love reading the comments from you guys. And good luck with this. You're going to be able to do it. You just have to believe it yourself.